fishing with an ice fishing rod to catch the pond monster. For my bait of choice, I had 30 big red worms. To get more bites, I'm going to be using a tiny hook. The thing about this pole is it's tiny and the rod bends so much. I immediately went down to the pond and I started fishing. I quickly took a cast right on some fish that were lurking in the shallows. In no time, I already had a fish on. The first fish of the day turned out to be a bluegill. Not just any bluegill, but it was a really big bluegill and it started peeing on me right away when I caught it. If you look closely, you can see it peeing and it sadly got on my leg. And of course, I made sure to get a nice safe release on him. Now it's time to catch a bass, so I put 2 worms on just 1 hook. I could feel something was going to be under this tree, so I walked over and took a cast. And on my first cast under this tree, I was already hooked up onto a bass. I knew it was a bass right away because it was actually pulling drag, unlike the bluegill. And my rod was completely bent. I got this fish up on shore and he was pretty big. This bass is pretty good for this pond because this pond does hold a lot of fish, but they aren't the biggest. And of course, I made sure to get a really safe release on this guy and he swam off super quickly. I then took another cast and now it's time to catch my second bass of the day. And immediately, I already had one on. At first, I thought it was a bluegill, but really it just turned out to be a small bass. I let it go so I could catch my last fish of the day. I was feeling some bites and then boom, I already had a fish on. This fish was also pulling drag just like my first bass that I caught. Not just that, but it seemed even bigger than the first one. And then I found out it was about the same size. Of course, I made sure to get a really safe release on this guy and he swam off even quicker than the last one. That's it for today's video. Bye.